here, and that bee's digging me right now.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll be right back. Yeah, that's a bee, isn't it?
No.
Right? Last Minute Man, back here today on the range. I'm with my good buddy, Mr. Obvious. And Mr. Obvious, what do we got to talk about here?
Oh, we got a wonderful piece of equipment here, made by Browning, 6.5 PRC in a Hell's Canyon. That's what we got today.
And I'm telling you, anything that says Browning on it just tickles me pink. I mean, their quality is awesome. The feel of any of their rifles is just amazing. I love the finish on this. Now, we did do a previous video on this particular rifle, and we only got to shoot 200. So now we're going to go out here to 400 and see how she really performs for us.
Yeah, well, as you can see in the background, we got some
wind today.
Yeah, we got like 20-mile-an-hour crosswinds just hitting us. They're gusts. They stop and go, stop and go. So hopefully that won't affect us.
Well, we got the perfect caliber, really, to mitigate that, and that is the 6.5 PRC here. Very powerful round. I'm impressed when we've shot it. It's shot really well, so I'm really excited to get out there to 400.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the scope you got here, Mr.
Oh man, this scope, we got the Vortex Golden Eagle HD. It starts out at 15 power. It'll crank all the way up to 60 power right there in your face. So,
and it really does. It's like, whoa.
Well, our motto is you can only shoot as good as you can see.
And that is a fact. I'll tell you, when you're somebody like myself who did a lot of open sight shooting, when I had a scope in the military, it was only a 4-power scope. So, and I had countless thousands of rounds through an M16 or an M4 with an ACOG on it. But when you get into magnification like this, it's starting out at 15 power. It will expose or show everything you're doing wrong. And it really does, because when you're down there on that target and you've got it right there in your face, everything going on internally, your breathing control, your trigger control, your heartbeat, you'll see those crosshairs, man. It's hard to just hold it on the target, when you've got that kind of magnification. So it's a whole nother art form. It's completely different. It's frustrating for a guy like me. I mean, I've got ADD and all that, so it's very, very frustrating for me to focus. But when you get this mastered, and I've gotten a lot better with his coaching here, but when you get this mastered, it's hard to go back.
Yeah, it is.
Once you get spoiled with it.
Yeah, it's like this. I usually run the 24, 25 power scopes. This is the only 60 power I have, so it spoils you.
Yeah, 24 power is more than enough for me. Like I've said shown in the past, I shoot with like an 8 to 9 power scope at 400, and I shoot, about like so, and hopefully today we can really get a tax driver. We do have these crosswinds, but again, perfect caliber to mitigate that. And let's get out here and start with some shooting.
Let's go to 400.
Okay, Mr. Obvious, so you got us zoomed in here. You got your bullet drop. What'd you set that to?
Well, we're zeroed in at 200 yards, so I moved it up 2.5 minutes angle to see where we hit on the target.
All right, well, I'm going to fire up our secondary camera. And we are recording, so go ahead for that shot. Woo! Hit! Where'd you hit her? Oh, awesome. All right, give us 3 shots on there. I love it when a plan comes together.
I can see every little shake and wiggle.
Oh, God, it's terrible.
Like I'm wiggling off the target to scare me whether I'm going to group good today or not.
All right, well, let's see.
Oh, man, that's scary.
It's another hit. It's all right. Take your time. We got that gust of wind hitting. All right. Now you at home know what the grouping looked like before we do, because we got that zoom. But let me have a shot at this.
I've done better, but the scope's freaking me out. It's just so much power. You can see yourself doing this all in it.
Yeah, I might take the power down, and what I'll do is I'll shoot at the bottom of the bullseye. That way our pattern will be different.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drop this scope down a half minute. That way you'll hit lower, so you can still hold bullseye.
Okay.
So you'll hit lower on the target.
All right.
3 shots. You heard Mr. Obvious. We dialed it a little different, so I should be shooting lower. But let's have at it. I cannot go in with a 60 power zoom. I'm actually on 25 power. I can't even focus with it zoomed in like that. But all right, so here we go.
Yeah, so have you got a bullseye to shoot at?
Well, it's kind of hard to do it when they're at the bullseye.
Not one left.
Aim at what I think center.
Well, that cold bore shot, I hit a little high on the first one. The next two settled in.
Yep, it hit low.
Good. That's what we wanted. Your
All right.
half minute low.
All right.
Just hold the same every time.
Stack them on there. In the same spot.
Yeah. Well, your nerves are probably better than mine. I'm old and rattled.
All right, here we go. One more here.
Let freedom ring.
Looks to me like we got similar results. I've got 2 real close. I got 1 that's pulled just a little bit. And folks, that's just kind of how I shoot. I always pull one, but it isn't bad. So, you know, Mr. Obvious, did you want to do a 5-shot group?
Yeah, I'm going to butt one more. I'm going to dial it back up at half minute.
Okay.
That was pretty much a cold barrel shot, the first one I shot.
Okay.
And hit a little high, and the next two was like dead center.
Well, why don't I go down and paint that, and
I'll just put one more.
Okay, so Mr. Obvious is going to take this final shot, and you're taking it back up to what you previously had it dialed in at, correct, Mr. Obvious?
Yep, 2.5 minutes.
All right, and he's going to do that, and this is going to be the elk. I'm firing up the secondary camera. This is your elk shot right here. See if you can hit him in the lung. Or, well, you're aiming for the heart. I heard a ring. Where'd you hit?
I don't really know.
Well, that's a good sign, because it might have hit right where your other 2 shots were there. But I'm going to go down there and grab this target, and we'll see how we did. All right, Mr. Obvious, show us the groupings here. Let's start with yours.
All right.
That'd be the top group.
The top group. This was on actually a colder barrel shot. Then the next 2 shots was just about 2 1/8.
Yep.
Then up here we're 4 1/2. So it's not my best ever was.
No, but it's still, you're right there at a minute of angle.
Close to it, yeah. And you've got there's 3 3/4, and there's that's about 3 1/2, 3 3/4. So that's a tight group.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's the best I've done.
3/4 minute of angle, so
But
that's under a minute angle, just a bit. So
yep, and then your final shot that you took after we waited a little bit, you took one more shot here.
Oh, yeah, because this was a cold barrel. Then I put 2 in, then I took a final. So I don't know if the wind blew me or I pulled a little bit or what.
Well, and you had that zoomed in to maximum power, and we'll talk about that in the AAR. But when you've got no bullseye to shoot at, that's what I told him when I was shooting. I said, I'm just basically aiming at his shots. And, you know, I'm happy with it.
I was trying to hold right in here, but I'm just wiggling. So,
But this is real world shooting, folks.
From
We got
center of bullseye to there. That's 3 inches. So
yeah, that's pretty darn good. So let's get over here for the AAR. And we are back with our after action report. And what do we have to report today, Miss Robbies?
Oh, we're going to report a pretty good shooter. I mean, we've not really played with this gun much. We've done a 200. That's the first 400.
And these were factory loads today.
Factory ammo, no hand loads or nothing. So, it's grouping pretty tight with factory ammo.
Yeah, I love a Browning. This thing tickles me every time I get to shoot it, which this I think is only the third time I've ever gotten to shoot this. And I just love this thing. The feel of this rifle in your hand, the feel of the composite stock here. I don't know what they make that out of, but it's got a different feel than any other plastic composite that I felt. It's warmer. Feels well crafted, well made. The finish on this, it's got like a
Cerakote.
Yeah, but it's like a bronze or copper clad look. It's very nice looking. This thing shoots for me excellent. Now, something I want to point out, when I fired my shots, I had it on about 24 power, and that was about as close. There's so much going on for me, so much wiggle and wobble. I will shoot better at a lesser magnification. Now you zoomed in real tight, and you were saying
I can just see them crosshairs just do this. It's like freaking me out. I'm like, in my own center, every time I hit that trigger, you move. So better off with stay with a 24, 25 power scope.
That for me works better. Now I'm sure you get him out and get him on a calm day, and we don't shoot in the perfect environment here. I mean, we're laying on the ground. We don't have sandbags and stuff to prop it on. So, it's as close to a real world scenario as we're going to do this way, shooting off the bipod. But I think this rifle shoots great. I think the scope requires training, people. When you're going to that 60 power, and I've seen him run one on top of the other in the past, not with this particular scope, but I've seen you do shots like that.
Yeah.
And, this is really the perfect platform to be able to shoot like that, in my opinion. Free floated barrel. You got everything going for you here. What is this, 24-inch barrel?
No, I think that's a 24-inch barrel, I do believe.
Yeah, and you've got this 6.5 PRC is an awesome caliber, I gotta tell you. It took me a long time to get on board with the Creedmoor, and I was one of those people. I like my 308. I still love a 308, but a 6.5 is a very, very fine shooting caliber. I mean, it's awesome especially if you're a bench shooter.
Yeah, and I tell you, I really like Hornady's ammo. This stuff is consistent.
Yeah.
It's darn near right there close to a hand load.
Yeah, actually it is.
So we're 200 yards zero, and it's got on the box 2960 velocity, 200 yards zero, then at 300 yards 6.4 drop. 400, 18, 500, it is 36.
18.4 at 400, it said? Or?
Yeah,
So yeah, you were 18.2.
18.2.
And tell us a little bit about that, because I'm always impressed by this. He'll get out here and right away, and he's got some data. Unless you shoot through a chronograph or have good load data, this may or may not work for you. But he typically has good data. And he came out here and said, okay, we got it 0 to 200. So how do you
I dialed
decide?
up 2.5 minutes. So
right.
It's kind of weird. I mean, if you go a minute angle is 1/4 inch clicks, you got
you got 1/8 inch on this.
4 clicks is an inch. But it seems like when you get out there at longer range, when you do that, the scope, it moves down to bring your barrel up, but it like double then triple once you get out there. The pitch of your barrel so I took it 2.5 minutes, just kind of off of my head.
You shoot this is what he does.
Dead center.
Yeah.
2.5 minutes dead center at 400.
I mean, I'm impressed by that. Now, that first shot you did was with a cold barrel, and I purposefully didn't wait and give it any cooling time when I shot, because we have shot rifles in the past that I'm telling you, it was radical. It was dramatic. The amount of movement we were getting when you had a hot barrel. I mean, it was wild. This thing didn't seem to be affected by, and I didn't think it would. That's the real difference from what I can see when you pay $2,000 for a rifle versus paying $500 for a rifle. It's not that the $500 rifle isn't going to shoot great. In fact, it'll probably shoot better than the person shooting it. I mean, no doubt about it. Technology has just come so far. But when you get a really expensive firearm, there's things they're a little more meticulous about, and I don't know what the barrel material is here, but it's it's fluted and everything, but it seems like it cools a lot quicker, or the heat doesn't affect it as much.
I mean, we shot several shots out of it, and it's still holding its group right in there at 400 yards.
Yep. And again, even with these crosswinds, that 6.5 PRC was shooting pretty darn consistent.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very pleased with this. I love this caliber. I would say, and this is my opinion, but I've never hunted with a 6.5 PRC, but I would imagine the kind of ballistics that we're getting here, 400 yards, no problem for an elk with this caliber.
Yeah.
I would imagine. I mean, it's right there with a 308, and 180 grain bullet and a 308 is what I would shoot an elk with at 400. And that's the furthest I'd take an elk with a 308. You want to really get up into a 300 Win Mag or a 30-06 if you want to go. And let's be realistic. If I'm elk moose hunting out west, I'm bringing a 300 Win Mag.
Yeah,
that's me.
That's...
But I can see why somebody would like this. Ounces equal pounds. This is a lighter rifle. It's sweet.
Yeah, and we are shooting, I don't think I meant, we are shooting a 143 grain ELDX.
And these are precision hunter loads, which I got to say, they're not false advertising. They are precision, as far as I can tell. And was there anything else to say about this rifle? This thing is just wonderful.
It's just wonderful. I love it. It's a great shooter. It's consistent. I mean, it's just consistent shooting. You can't beat it. I mean, Browning's got their act together, I tell you.
They really do. But I want to thank everybody that supports us. We really appreciate all you guys. Please comment below. Let us know what you think about this rifle. Let us know what you'd like to see in the future. We've got some more open sight shots we want to take at the 400 and see if we can't perform better than we did in the last one. But yeah, we're bringing you some different things. Tell us what you'd like to see. We'd like to thank American Gun and Pawn for all their support. Guys, they have been a big supporter of the channel as far as giving us firearms to shoot and things like that. So if you're ever up this way around Dry Ridge, Kentucky, look up American Gun and Pawn, or you can call them, and they do deliver all across the country, provided that you have an FFL to deliver to. These guys get a hold of things other people can't. That's been my experience with them. If I'm looking for like 410 ammo, we couldn't get that anywhere. These guys can get it.
Yeah.
And they've just got a little bit of everything, and they're ever expanding. So please give them a call, give them a shout, give them a look on Facebook, something like that, because they do support us. So we appreciate them. But with that, everybody, remember, keep your knife sharp, keep your powder dry.
Subscribe to Last Minute Man. I dare you.
I dare you.